morning, children, and welcome back to our online teaching. Today, we are going to talk about paragraph writing. Let's learn how to write a paragraph. Before we understand about the paragraph writing, the first and the foremost thing to know about is what is a paragraph? What is a paragraph then? Paragraph is a group of sentences which has a clear main idea. So it concentrates on one particular idea with supporting information. You can say that it's a miniature essay. An essay contains many paragraphs. So a paragraph is a miniature essay and it's a part of a longer composition. So when you write a longer composition, you include many paragraphs. But in paragraph writing, we particularly stick to a clear main idea. That is what we call as our topic. Okay, so first thing that you need to remember in paragraph writing is the hamburger. Oh, so tasty and it looks yummy. So, if you want your paragraph to look yummy, then what you need to remember is your paragraph should start with a topic sentence and it should conclude with the sentence which again talks about the topic sentence. So, the topic sentence and the conclusion sentence are very important, supported by many other sentences leading to the topic. Supporting sentence 1, 2, 3 and so on. So, before you write your paragraph, should you directly, as soon as you get your topic, should you directly start writing? No, there is a particular process of writing a paragraph so that someone who reads your paragraph really likes it and enjoys it. So the first step is pre-writing. So before you write, first brainstorm the ideas and organize your topic. The second step, create a rough copy of your writing. The third step, improve your writing, that is revise it. The fourth step, edit it, that is proofread your work if you have any mistakes in it. The fifth one, publish it, create a clean final copy. So the 5 steps are pre-writing, drafting, revising, editing and publishing. Follow this process to write a paragraph. So what are the principles of paragraph writing? The first principle, unity. Unity means it should have a one main idea which is introduced by the topic sentence and which is supported by other sentences. Then it should have coherence. Coherence means well organized details properly presented in a logical, or if you are talking about any event, then chronological order. And it should have a clear, sensible connection with proper linker words used. 2 things that you need to avoid in paragraph writing is a faulty start. A faulty start means your paragraph should not start in such a way that your reader doesn't get the interest to read. Lack of topic sentence. The lack of topic sentence actually leads to the readers to lose interest in your topic because the reader has to read the entire topic or entire paragraph to get to the idea or the topic of your paragraph. So you have to remember these principles of paragraph writing. Then what are the different types of paragraphs? Based on the purpose of writing, paragraphs are of 4 types. The descriptive, which describes something or someone. Like for example, if I give the mother, then you have to describe about your mother or your pet and so on. The narrative, to tell stories or sequence of some events. The expository, to explain something or give information or instructions on a particular topic. And persuasive means to convince the reader, means the reader should agree to what you want to speak about a particular topic. Now let's first move on to the descriptive writing. So descriptive writing creates a picture of a person, place, thing or event. A good description works with all of the senses. That is, you have to gather stimuli from all your five senses: sight, smell, taste, touch and hearing. So descriptive writing is the only type of writing which can be and it should be used in all the other forms, that is the expository or narrative or persuasive. Now let's talk about your narrative writing checklist. See, whatever you write, children, whichever kind of paragraph you write, this checklist equally applies for all the types of paragraphs. But as these are stories generally, so specially I'm talking about the narrative writing checklist. The first, in the beginning, whether you have to check whether I have included a hook to grab the reader's attention. Hook means some catchy phrase or some catchy point or a quote that grabs the attention of the reader. Whether I have described my setting or not, a setting of your story. Whether I have introduced the story characters. So all these in the rough draft, first you have to prepare and then publish it. In the middle, I have used the five senses to create the atmosphere of the story or not. Whether I have included action in it, something interesting in it. Whether I have introduced a problem or event which creates the means curiosity and interest of the reader. Okay, then the ending. Whether I have tried to resolve the problem that you yourself have posed in the paragraph, whether you have given a solution to it or not. Whether I have used powerful verbs and adjectives. This is very important, children. You should move to a better vocabulary. I have included dialogues or not. And finally, in the editing, you have to check your spelling and punctuation so that the meaning doesn't change. And you have to use a thesaurus to find better words, synonym words. If you write the same word again and again, it becomes very boring. So whenever you have to repeat a word, try to use its synonym. Whether I have checked my story makes sense or not. So you have to remember this checklist before you finally draft your and publish your paragraph. Then comes the expository reading. So what is expository reading? Writing all about a topic, gather information from everywhere and then present it. Explain to the reader what you can inform them about, and that too in an interesting manner. Then your expository writing also contains some instructions and that you have to give in step-by-step manner. Instructions could be regarding how you have to do something or any other topic. Okay. So finally in expository reading, you inform, you describe and you explain. Now what about the persuasive reading? So what is persuasive? We'll find out the full form of this. First, pull your audience in with an interesting hook in your introduction. Bring the point in an interesting manner. Explain your point of view. Then reasons will help your audience be persuaded. Why? How? What are the reasons that you give? Evidences that you give to persuade your audience. And sway your audience means they should enjoy your writing. Use convincing language, good, ornamental, figurative language. Then address possible alternative points of view with reasons to counteract them. That means you not only have to write in your point of view, but also you should think that if you were the audience, what kind of questions will come to your mind, and even write about that to counteract them. Then deliver a strong message that is repeated in the conclusion and entice your readers with proper word choice and sentence structure. This will really make your paragraph very, very interesting, children. So finally, jump and enjoy, because all you need to remember in paragraph writing is the hamburger and your banana peels. What does this mean? See here, children. The hamburger tells that you should have a topic sentence, a concluding sentence stuffed with supporting information and in an interesting manner. And the peels tell you how should you write this supporting material. First, the point, a main point. Second, the evidence, that is examples to support your main point. Third, explanation of your evidences, like how and why it supports your main point. Then link it using proper transition words, link to the next point in a proper coherent manner. Then style, that is a formal style you have to maintain throughout with proper punctuation, beautiful vocabulary, and the correct language. Okay, children, so all you need to remember in your paragraph writing is your hamburger and your banana peels. Hope you all have enjoyed it. Now here is a sample paragraph for you, which is on the topic all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. I think you all agree with it. Okay, I'm just reading it out. Hard and industrious work is necessary to achieve our goals in life. But concentration of work alone with no recreation tends to make a person dull and unsociable. The mind's constitution is such that it can work for a long time, but at the same time, proper relaxation is absolutely necessary to keep it from getting overtaxed. An overtaxed mind loses all social spirit, making the personality dull. Often children are made to study their lessons continuously so as to get good results in examinations. But this rather tends to make a child just a bookworm with no social abilities. Furthermore, a relaxed mind is a rejuvenated one. It retrieves all its capacities to absorb knowledge after proper recreation. Recreation revitalizes the mind's inborn abilities. That is why we stress extracurricular activities in school routine. A balanced scheme of work and recreation is the proper way to keep the mind in trim shape. This is especially very important in the case of children because it's the age when the personality of the child is being molded. In short, work with no recreation will make Jack a dull boy and his life monotonous. The proverb reminds us to lead an optimum balanced life, relax when necessary, good care of ourselves, importance of physical and mental health, importance of play and friendship, and socializing. So, all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. Children, I hope you all have understood that how the 5 principles of your paragraph writing have come into this example. Okay, so understand it very clearly and note it down in your assignment copy exactly as it is written here. Okay, children, thank you.